Hey guys, it's me Teddy. Um, just got to work. Um, but I had some things that I kind of wanted to express my opinion about and kind of talk about where I think we're standing right now. Um, there you go. With everything that's going on right now with the ATF and pretty much everything with the government right now, especially with how crazy everything's been this year. Um, I'm kind of thinking that we're on the brink of civil war, and I don't think it really would have mattered who won the election, um, even if Trump did win, which I still think that he did. Um, the results of the election really wouldn't matter too much. I think civil war was coming fairly soon anyway. But with everything that's going on with the ATF right now, they've been doing quite a few raids on 80% lowers now, and it seems like every other week you hear about them coming up with some new thing that turns law-abiding citizens that happen to own guns into pretty much felons overnight. Um, and I think that the ATF should just completely be disbanded. It serves absolutely no purpose other than to violate our Second Amendment rights. Right in the Second Amendment, it says that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, and that is the whole job of the ATF, is to infringe our rights. And they have the government that backs them, the media backs them on it. A large majority of the population also back them. And what a lot of these people are failing to realize is that this is not a democracy in America. If you have 41 or 51% of the population that has an opinion, that does not mean that the other 49% of us lose our rights. That's the difference between a constitutional republic, which is what America is, and a democracy. A constitutional republic, like America is setting guidelines and limitations to the government. It is not limiting the people. And with every law that they pass that violates our constitutional rights, especially pertaining to the Second Amendment, they are pretty much wiping their ass with the Constitution. And I know a lot of people like me and pretty much every other conservative are just pissed off about it. There's a lot of guys on YouTube that have been speaking out about it. And for one, they're getting censored. And for two, it's really not doing anything. We're not seeing any changes. And the way it's looking right now, we can't even trust the judges or our court system right now to follow the Constitution. And one of the things that a lot of these Democrats are failing to realize, or maybe they do realize it and they don't care, is that if they start banning all of our guns, it's going to be no different than when they banned alcohol during Prohibition. It's just going to widen the black market for these firearms, and just like with the Prohibition, a lot of people that were previously law-abiding citizens became criminals. And it would be the same exact thing if they start banning all these firearms. And you know that everything that they're trying to do with our AR-15s right now it's just the tip of the iceberg. They've slowly been taking more and more of our gun rights. And every time they start making those laws, they're violating our rights. And we keep letting them. And that's why they keep taking more, just because nobody has stood up and actually, fought them. And like I said, right now I don't mean just fighting in court, because as we can all see that the court systems are not working right now. They're completely publicized, and they're vastly political. These judges are not looking at these laws and basing them on any part of our Constitution. And once they start making more and more people overnight felons, those people, just for owning a wall hanger or a fuel filter, are overnight felons. They can never own a gun. That's the government's first attempt of gun confiscation. All these red flag laws that are popping up in a lot of different areas are the same thing. It's them legally disarming us, where we aren't going to retaliate. And in my opinion, I think that the time for talking is over. It's obviously not working. Our government and our system is broken, and in my opinion, I think it is time that we actually truly consider the fact that we are going to have to protect our Constitution the same way that our forefathers fought for our freedom and for the ability to write the Constitution. and we've been seeing it for years. The government has been overstretching their limits, and every time that we move that line in the sand back and let them get away with it, the more we are empowering them to take more and more of our rights. And pretty soon we are not going to be a free society the way that our forefathers wanted us to be. And I think that a lot of our conservatives and a lot of the guys that are on the internet, speaking out about this, speaking out about it's fine, but sooner or later we are going to have to act, and I think that it's going to be easier to act before they start taking more of our rights than after they've decided to come and take handfuls and hundreds of thousands of guns. With Biden potentially going into the office, and with his stance on gun buyback programs, and Kamala Harris and her stance on guns, and with Joe Biden saying that Beto O'Rourke is going to be pretty much his little bulldog on the gun confiscation. They're already threatening war with that. They've pretty much already declared war unofficially. And I think that it's time for us conservatives and the people that actually are willing to fight and protect the Constitution, it's time for us to step up. We need to start having more communication and actually setting up plans for when all this starts going downhill faster. It's not something that's going to be easy. It's not something that any of us are looking forward to having to do. But I think at this point, I think it is becoming a necessity. In the next 30, 40 years, I don't want to be talking to my nieces and nephews about how this country used to have freedom and how a lot of good American people just sat back and really did nothing in order to protect that freedom. I can't see that ever happening. And I know there's a lot of people that say if there is a civil war, there's no chance that we would ever be able to win. And they might be right. But backing down from a fight that you know you're most likely going to lose just because you're not certain of winning is cowardice. And if anybody's seen any of my previous videos, you know I was incarcerated for quite a few years as a juvenile, and I worked as a bouncer and security after that. And if you ask anybody that's been inside the jail or, you know, worked in jails, before pretty much any riot or any major fight, there's that feeling in the air that you really can't describe it. You just know something's gonna pop off. And that's kind of how everything has been pretty much this whole year specifically. And right now with Black Lives Matter and Antifa not really making the news as much right now, it's kind of feeling like the calm before the storm. And we have politicians that are in office that are making videos pretty much threatening Trump supporters. They're just creating so much tension. And all these threats that they're making, normal people don't just walk around and threaten people without having some kind of plan to back up the threat. There are a lot of people that are all barking, you know, no bite, but for somebody to go and make a video that hundreds of thousands of people are going to watch and threaten Trump supporters, and she is not the only one that has done it. It's kind of become the left's new bone that they've been chewing on, is how that they're gonna, now that they feel that they've defeated Trump, now they're trying to figure out how to defeat all of the Trump supporters. And they've been doing nothing but divide this country for years, especially these last 4 years. And all of a sudden now that they feel that their candidate and their party is now in power, and now they want to talk about unity, while at the same time threatening Trump supporters. And to me that sounds kind of like you can either have unity or we're gonna destroy you. So I think that we need to start actually planning on what our next move is going to be in the next couple weeks and months that pass. We need to actually get get our shit in order, because we cannot go on this shit half-cocked. We can't just react once they cross that final line that we draw in the sand. We need to actually make preparations and come together. We need to be united in this. Like, all of us conservatives, we need to stand together and we can't have just local state militias that aren't communicating with other militias. We need to be organized. And for anybody that is a conservative that is not willing to pick up a gun, you know, I can definitely understand that. And that seems to be all that people talk about, is the people that are actually going to be doing the fighting. And that's not all that we're going to need when the Civil War breaks out. We're going to need people that are able to, you know, hunt, fish. We're going to need carpenters. We're going to need construction workers. We're going to need diesel techs. We're going to need everybody. We're going to need cooks. We're going to need janitors. But it seems like everybody that talks about, you know, when shit hits the fan, it seems like they're only focused on the ones that are going to be doing the fighting. And I can understand where that kind of turns away a lot of the people that might, you know, support us, but aren't willing to raise up arms. We're going to need support from everybody. And we're going to need a lot of people that are willing to go to extreme lengths to, you know, train people. People are going to have to go to extreme lengths to withstand all this, because we're going to have the media against us. We're going to have the politicians against us. We're going to have everybody against us when we go into civil war. And it's going to be friends and family members that you have that might turn their back on you, that might not agree with what you're doing. So I think before anybody ever actually fully commits to joining, they're going to have to take a hard look at what they're going to be losing, and figure out for themselves if if that risk is worth it. I know for me personally, there's not even a question in my mind that it's worth it. But I can also understand where certain people are not willing to make that kind of sacrifice. That's something that each individual is going to have to go through and actually consider before making any of their personal decisions. But I think collectively, those of us that are ready to fight, we need to have a little bit more communication, and we need to actually set up our foundation and start making concrete plans, and not just plans and empty promises, empty words, empty threats. We need to be solid in the fact that we are not going to let them take any more of our rights away. And we need to be ready, willing, and able to react when the war actually breaks out, where the first shot's fired, and we need to be willing to stay true to our purpose. We cannot start acting like Antifa. We cannot start acting like Black Lives Matter. We can't just be doing any of this out of selfish reasons. We can't think about what we're personally going to gain out of this. It needs to be something that we're doing for our love of the country, pretty much. That sounds corny as shit. But that's what it's coming down to. Is we're going to need to have to go to war with 100% certainty that we're going to war for the right reason. And we need to have faith in ourselves. And we need to have faith in whatever creator, God, that you do pray to. We are going to have 100% faith that He's going to see us through, and there is still a chance in my mind that we can come back from this overreaching, tyrannical government that we have let grow into power. They didn't grow to the power and to the lengths that and extremes that they are right now overnight. They've gotten this much power because we as American people have grown lax and have allowed them to take more and more power. So it is our responsibility, and it is kind of our fault as Americans that we have let this government get to this extreme. And it's also our responsibility as Americans to fix this problem that's been arising. And I know that this video isn't going to get out to a whole lot of people, but I know that war is coming, and I want us as conservatives and patriots and Americans to stand united. And I want us to be able to fight for our Constitution and get our freedoms back and fight for our freedoms. Because the government does not have the power to grant us our God-given rights and our freedoms. They do not have the right to take those freedoms away, but it is ultimately up to us whether we allow them to or not. And we've been letting them take our rights and freedoms away for long enough. And I think it's time that we actually put our foot down and we actually start fighting back. And like I said, with the court system the way it is, I think fighting in court and trying to get these judges to see our point of view is a waste of time right now. It's not. It hasn't been working at all over the last couple of years. This election has been proving it with all of the evidence that team has been putting forth to these judges, and every corner, every couple days you see these judges overturn it. They just won't listen to it. And if you think that those are the people that are going to protect our Constitution, I think that you're kind of full of shit and you're living a pipe dream. I think it's time now for the fighting men and women to actually step forward. In my opinion, I think that the government has already declared war. We don't need to. But I definitely think that it's time that we start acting. And that's pretty much all I've got to say right now about it. I'd like to hear any comments, any feedback. Let me know if you agree, disagree. If you want to have a debate on it, discussion, anything. And if anybody has any plans, I haven't really heard too much from any of the 3%er groups too much in the last couple of years. Go ahead and put some comments down there. Get a hold of me. Let me know if there are any groups out there that are actually making concrete plans and actually willing to go through with them. But that's going to be all for this video. Hope you guys have a good night. Now I'm going to go back to work.